Give me welcome this night. We're coming up on springtime. Tomorrow's New Year's, or is it? When is the first? I don't know how these days roll. But the first will be April 1st is the New Year's for Indigenous people. Now, I realize that many of you celebrate the New Year's January 1st, and this is kind of backwards for Indigenous people in this part of the world to do that because it's in the dead of winter. Everything is dead. There's nothing new about it. Now, when you come to this program, you got to know that we're just talking straight Indigenous talk. We're talking in a way where looking through the we're not looking at the world through somebody else's point of view. We're not doing that. Okay, so some of the things we may say, you may be offended, but you're just offended because you're in that system. You're to make it roll. You're like a guy in the military. You know you're not supposed to be there, but you're there anyway. You know you're not supposed to be going to another person's, killing the men, women, and children, but you do that anyway. That's the kind of PTSD that people suffer from. And this runs rampant through our community because that's how we live. We look at the world from other people's point of view. We don't look at it and see how we fit into it and then fit ourselves in accordingly. We don't do that, but we should. And one of the ways to start is to realign ourselves back with the earth, back with the planet, because we are a part of the planet. We're a part of it. So these are major things that we have to start doing in mass because I think everybody sees the hand on the wall. So April 1st is New Year's. That spring is coming in. The dead is gone. Winter's dying out. Spring is coming, new life, new ideas are springing forth, and we're getting ready to go implement our ideas or whatever we're going to do for the summertime because the summer when things heat up and we need to get to work. Okay, so that's New Year's. New Year's is coming up. Real. I mean, what is tomorrow? Again, I don't know the dates. Because I don't really pay attention to the time, how time is in this time frame. I really don't pay attention to how the time is because it 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 doesn't connect us to anything. What are we supposed to be doing? I always ask sisters this, and this is a trip. Sisters will crack you up when you ask them this. Ask them if they had all the man hours of the 2 million brothers sitting in jail, what could they do with that? If you just had that into raw manpower, you can shape it into anything you want. And when you ask sisters that, it gives them a different look on what brothers are supposed to be doing. Because brothers, we're supposed to be building cities. We're supposed to be building institutions where our women and children can go. The reality of it. Everybody else does it. Why not us? These are the conversations that we're going to have to start having. These are the things we're going to have to talk to our children about. Why don't we have any industries? Why don't we control any industries? Why do we fuel every industry? Why do we fuel it? and make sure other people's reap the benefit. And when we see them reap the benefits, we don't say anything. How is that possible? How is that possible? Cigarettes. How come we don't have our own cigarette company? A new kind of cigarette. How come we don't why don't we think of things like this? I mean, we like to always say how a little boy has the IQ of an Albert Einstein or Bill Gates. That does nothing to help us. And see, that's what we see all day. We pat people on the back for making other people money. We invent stuff all day long. We invent stuff all the time. Other people take it from us. Why do we champion that on? Why do we give energy for that? I mean, out of this whole planet, we don't control none of the resources on it, and we would rather fight and bicker with each other instead of overcoming our differences and making sure that happens so our children will have something to do. Because one thing you can't leave your kids, and that's a job. It's the reality of it. And so, here at African Americans Ain't Africans, we're talking about reality. Not how we wish it was, but what we're supposed to be doing. What 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 are our possibilities? What are our possibilities? A good example would be, um, what do you have? Ice Cube has a 3-on-3 basketball, and I'm not, and it's nothing I watch, but it's an idea to why how come brothers don't have their own league? Now, of course, he plays in other people's leagues, and it's not exactly there, but I get what he's trying to do. Now, if he could get the NBA players to say, okay, we're going to stop playing for the NBA, we're going to open up our own league, you would cut out a lot of the problems that you have with a lot of these athletes right now. Why are you always the show pony for everybody's show? I mean, I think that's time to stop. Don't you? Really? Why do we keep going on like that's cool? And you're seeing other people, you're seeing foreigners own these teams, coming over and putting their money together as a unit to run these teams, to run you, because we are always the product. Shouldn't the people who produce the product reap the benefits of what that product produces? Everybody else in the world seems to think so. Why aren't we having these conversations? We're trying to get Phoenix Moon on, and I'm getting her on tonight. I don't know how this is supposed to be working, but trying to get Phoenix Moon on. So give me a second. We'll be in 1 second. We're coming back in 1 second. Give me a minute. Okay.
Peace, everyone. Think I'm on. Hmm? Hold on, I don't think I'm on. I'm not hearing anything.
We're here. We're here. We're here. I'm just trying to get Phoenix on, so we can go
Okay.
ahead. You can go ahead and introduce yourself. I'm just, I got my microphone muted, so I'm talking to her. So please, Dark Man, please introduce
All right,
yourself.
no problem, brother. So this is Darkman from Darkman X TV. I'm here with also my brother Dynasty as well.
Peace.
And we sometimes co-host Darkman X TV and Rain X TV together. So we're just here to see what's going on. What the topic of today is, and let's get into some Aboriginal stuff. Much love to everyone in the chat. All right. Much love, much respect to everyone that's in the chat. Much love and much respect to Brother Marvin Coleman as well. Much love and much respect to Sister Phoenix Moon. And yeah, let's give it a go. Um, just to give everyone a brief update till the brothers ready. Well, I was just doing some research back again on what they call Black Wall Street and the Garvey movement and the the beginning of the Moorish Science Temple as well. And either tonight or tomorrow night, we're going to get into some stuff because for folks who thought the Garvey movement was what it was portrayed to be, it wasn't, right? And we're not going to say that the brother started a movement to purposely disrupt a movement that was already taking place here, right? There was already a big financial boom within our community here that was going on. There was already a big financial boom going on. So we're going to get into it tomorrow night, and we're going to show you guys, and then we're going to join that in with the creation of also the porn industry, right? The crack epidemic. Hmm? We're going to join it in with a lot of things leading up to this present day, this very day, even with the civil rights movement, to this present day, to everything that's going on with our people today, and the reason why we misidentify with our ancestors and who we are. So, we're not here to play no games with anyone. We're here to put everything in its proper perspective. And we're here, like, Dean Calloway would say, I'm just here to make you think. You got to be free thinkers. You got to stop um, staying within a box, being confined within a box, right? You're going to have to start opening your mind to new information and actually going down and researching this information, because it's vital not only to your existence today, but it's vital to your children's existence. Or else what's going to happen to us is what they're doing to our Aboriginal brothers and sisters in Australia right now today. They're still wiping them out through not just a physical form of misplacement, but through a genetic form of misplacement. And the ones who are more to their roots, they're displacing them for the ones who have submitted, right? For the ones who have succumbed to genetic genocide, paper genocide as well. Those who agreed to integrate, even if it was forcefully, right? And then what they did also to another generation. And see, and this clip was shared to me with someone in the YouTube back chat, and pretty much the clip pretty much was showing how they went and were taking the fair skinned Australians away from their homes and was raising them in European homes, and the darker skinned ones with straight hair, they were putting them in conservation camps until from the ages of 6 straight on up to like they were 19 years. So what they did was literally reprogram them to accept the Catholic faith, and then set them back out in the streets, out going 19, 20 years sometimes without seeing not one family member. So they displaced them. Then they taught them how to integrate and intermix with the bloodlines so that their colonizers can have more of an excuse to stay on their land, right? Because you're not going to want to turn around and do harm to your child, even if your child is of mixed blood. You're going to want to work out a logical reason now for peace to be, or some form of peace. But what's being worked out was the illusion of peace and the destruction of an identity and an entire civilization of people still to this present day. The loss of a culture, right? So you're being taught because you had light skin or brown skin that you had Caucasian blood in you. That's not true. And that's what they started doing to those folks. What they were doing was they were hiding the truth that melanin, copper colored people, comes in all different shades. You understand? Melanin has all different shades. Okay. And they're digging into this history of folks is going to realize too is that we have some things in common with our Australian brothers and sisters. So this rabbit hole runs deep, real deep. And feelings are going to get hurt, but feelings need to get hurt, because the more we press and keep our foot on this gas, is the more we realize that a lot of even your supposed master teachers are crumbling. They're coming out telling the truth, even if they're trying to twist it. You can't hide the truth. Hmm? So Dr. Boyce Watkins do a thing the other day, and he put in some Indians in there in a show that he did, still trying to twist the truth, but they can't. You're going to see them all trying to speak on this history, and they're going to half-ass it. They're going to go with the usual front face rhetoric. right? Because they know more than half of us don't actually do research to call them out on the bullshit. So we got to understand that we are in a educational type of warfare here of knowledge, and we have to arm ourselves with this knowledge, and we have to make sure that we are all well rounded and guarded at all times, so that we can start calling these people out on the buffoonery that they speak of. Even the dude talk call everybody hates Angel. He gave surface information, no real facts, no nothing, and he used his talent for speech to cast a spell using words, because words cast spell on his audience. And we have a lot of our people who's quick to jump in self-hate to go against their ancestry. Even though again your great grandmother, your grandmother done told you either you were Cherokee or some form of American Aborigine, and you went and misinterpreted thinking that it means that you are mixed blood. Or you thought, well, they don't know what they're talking about. How that sounds crazy, but you let another man from across deep waters, right, come over here and tell you that you are him, even though you're seeing videos of their peoples telling you straight now. They're not even trying to keep the secret. No, they're telling you you're not us. Okay. And this is when folks have to also understand spirituality. Because what is spirituality? All right. We all came from the planet Earth, right? So, in one way, shape, or form, we are Earthlings. So, we have that common ground. But one thing that you must understand is that the Y chromosome of the African American and the Y chromosome of the African are two different Y chromosomes. Ours is rare. This is why they're over here. But y'all gotta understand, there's a lot that's going on. All right. I don't know if the brother is ready. Are you ready, brother? All right. Well, until he gets ready, I'm have my brother over here say a few words also as well.
Peace, everyone. I just want to say that you should pay detailed attention to some of these paperworks you're getting from these organizations or individuals that are doing paperwork for you. Dossiers or writing notices or whatever it is. Right? Pay close attention and read it. Please pay attention to the verbiage that is being used. Read it with a dictionary, right? And some of these information are some of the verbs used are words of confrontation, and it ties you back into a Moorish agenda one way or another. So you got to read it very carefully, right? Pay close attention to the verbiage that is being used. Okay. Also, do research on some of these organizations that you're joining, you know? Because a lot of people, specifically the Moors, they're gonna tell you that Moors are always in America, right? So why is it that they can't tell you about ancient ruins here, the Moors? Why they can't tell you about ancient ruins here or ancient infrastructure here? Just as how they can tell you about ancient infrastructures in Spain, all over Spain, right? And why are they not trying to get back Spain? Huh? Why are they trying to get here? You got to ask yourself those questions. Do research on the Moors. The word Moor itself, it tells you that they are Muslim, same people, you know, African people, same people. Berber or Arab people, those are the Moors, right? Do research on them. Or they invaded Ethiopia with Mussolini, right?
Beautiful.
And they invaded the Congo with Leopold, right? Who research? You know, why the Moors not trying to get back Spain? You know, ask yourself that. Don't just jump into organizations and not doing the research. They can talk whatever they want about they being here first and being indigenous to America. You know, they're not. You know, whatever you see on Google, what they're doing, they're putting false documents or false information out there on the internet. So when you Google search Aborigine Americans, you see Moors come up. Right, they're gradually rewriting history right in front of your face. That's what they're doing. You know, trying very hard to have some kind of tie to this land, or convince people that, or trying to convince people that Moors were always here, and Moors are the original inhabitant, or what you call Aborigines. You know, saw someone in the panel that says, "Do y'all hate Europe as much as Africa?" We don't hate no continent. You know what we want. Well, I can't speak for no one else, right? I don't hate no continent, right? And I'm not. I don't think that that question is clear cut. So you're talking about a continent, Europe and Africa. No, the African Supremacy TV. No, I don't hate a continent.
What is
No.
African supremacy?
What is African
Right?
supremacy?
Because last time I checked, if you are supreme in what it is that you proclaim that you are supreme in, then why is it that the Chinese and the French is running amok over African supremacy over there? Huh? Why is it? Why is it that for so many years? Why is it that the Arabs right now are still buying and selling your brothers in Libya right now? And who is selling your brothers to the Libyans? The Nigerians, right? So it's not that you ask if we hate Europe more than we hate Africa. Well, what you're not understanding is this. You're saying that the Moors are race traders. Well, the Moors are Africans.
Exactly.
They came from Africa, right? You're separating Europe away from Africa, and Africa is the same landmass. This is common sense.
Exactly.
It's the same landmass, so they're the same goddamn people. So if you're going to come in a live stream and troll it, right? Because you're trolling, plain and simple. And if you look at a map, you'll see that matter of fact, you could take a train from Europe into what you now call Africa. Did you know that? Have you ever done that? Now the asshole is going to go to, if you are indigenous, why are you paying taxes in America to Europeans? So okay then.
Hold on, let me explain. Let me explain that to you. Right?
When they don't have no talk, that's what they go to.
Why are we paying taxes if we're indigenous? That's a good question. I'm gonna break it down to you, right? You see, we have been lied to, right? By the United States corporation, right? And this is how we have been lied to. Not, I wouldn't say we have been completely lied to, but we have been tricked or being fooled, right? Because the agenda is to take our land, you know? That's the first thing you got to understand, right? And we're not going to talk taxes anyway, because if you don't know, if you're teaching someone how to be tax exempt, you're stirring up more than just a pot of worms, you know, or more than just a can of worms. You're asking for a lot of trouble, right? But if everyone should wake up on a large scale, on a large mass, right? A large amount of people should wake up, right? And truly claim their indigenous status. Bruh, all of that tax would be automatically be tax exempt. You gotta understand, everything in the system is voluntary and people don't take time to read. You know?
There's no tax law.
There's no tax law.
We're not
going to talk about that either. You got to find that for yourself. We're not going to prove it to you. You understand? Like I said, talking about taxes, you're opening a can of worms, you know? It's a very sticky topic, you know?